Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie. In today's video, we're going to scrapbook these super cute pictures right here. I'll be using the stamp of the month for the month of February. I'll bring in this really great doily right here, and I will show you how I'm going to use whatever I have left here. These are my scraps from the Sweet Memory collection. As you can see, I don't have a lot of it left. But for whatever reason, I do have this paper right here. And I think that this paper is super cute. It really matches these photos. These are photos of my little Jasmine. And you know when you take a series of photos because they're so darn cute, this layout is perfect for these types of photos. So let me clear off my desk. I'm going to definitely bring in this stamp of the month where I'll sprinkle, of course, flowers on this layout, and I'm going to use what I have in my scrap to document these cute pictures right here. Let me clear off my desk and let's get started. I've gone ahead here and I've just used a white base. I've trimmed this piece down to 11 by 11. I matted my photos right here, and you can see that that looks really pretty. I just wanted to get an idea of what the base of my layout would look like. And then I want to introduce this piece that I have right here. Now, originally I wanted this to be a little bit wider. I have 2 inches left, so I'm going to bring in the coordinating color and just add a border, and I'm going to sneak this right at the back. Let me go ahead and cut off the branding strip off of this piece right here. I'll add matching cardstock to give it a little bit more presence and a visual break on my base page, and then we'll bring in this really pretty doily. I've gone ahead here and I've trimmed down my scrap, whatever I had left, which was only 2 inches. This is 2.5, and I'm going to tuck this right underneath my photo mat right here with all of my photos. I really love the way that it's kind of pulling the blue from the photos, and I just love this paper, and you can tell that I have used every single piece of it. So now for the next step is I'm going to add this gorgeous doily right here to have a focal point, and let's not forget, we're going to use the stamp of the month. Let's talk about the next phase in this process. Now that I have my base page, my pattern paper, my accent piece, I've got my really nice photos here. They've all been matted. I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning I did say that I wanted to bring this big doily right here. And naturally, when I cut this out, I did do a white doily. And I put this on, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm not sure. It's not really popping. It's not giving me the look that I was looking for. Let me know what you think. It's fine, but it just wasn't doing it for me. So then I thought, okay, let me use the light side of Mist to kind of try and tie in some of the blues in the photos, but then it got lost against this really nice accent piece right here. So I knew that that wasn't going to work. The winner was this one right here. This is rosy glitter paper, and it is so pretty. Take a look at it now. Do you see how this pop of color is really drawing your eyes into the photos? I think that it looks really great. I even cut a little one right here that I'll probably put here at the top. I'll cut that in half. And then if we go back to our sticker sheet, this is what I have left. I've used quite a bit of this pattern paper, and if you want to see what I've done with this, I will link it down in the description box below, and I'll also link it at the end. I've done a few layouts, and this is what I have left. But this title here is perfect, and I think, let me just move this out of the way. I think that this is going to look really nice right here, and you've got your big elements. I love this color. I like the glitter. It just is that right pop that I was looking for. The next step is to use this gorgeous stamp set, stamp some out, and add some beautiful flowers to this layout. So am I going to stick to my monochromatic look that I tend to go to all the time, or am I going to be a little adventurous and stamp them in intense black ink and color them in with my markers? I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to bring them back and you can take a look. Let's go through the colorways I tried for these flowers right here. Did I stick to my monochromatic as I always do, or was I a little bit more adventurous and tried to color them up? I did go down a rabbit hole, to be honest with you, but let me show you a few examples. This one is my favorite one. This one looks like a watercolor. It is done on watercolor paper, and basically I stamped it, and then I used my watercolor brush and some ink to color that in, and I really do like the look of it. However, when I put it against my layout right here, it kind of disappears. So I thought, okay, let's keep trying. I did do a blue because I thought I would pull in some of the blue very much the same way. This is done with Distress Oxide ink, and I just let it kind of bleed through. It is on watercolor paper. It's a really cool look, but again, when I put it here on my layout, it kind of looks messy, and it's not really going with the theme of this layout because now I have glitter and these photos are very vibrant. So this is option 1. Option 2, the winner is coloring them in with alcohol markers on just plain old white cardstock, and take a look at that. It is so pretty. And when you put it against this background now, this looks like it's in the foreground, and the pattern paper is just a really nice background. So this was the winner, and I actually had to kind of text my very good friend Chelsea and say, Chelsea, which one do I use? I have so many different ways, and she opted for this one as well. By the way, we are collaborating on how to use the stamp of the month, and I will link her video down below where she shares how she used this gorgeous stamp set right here. Going back to my 3 options here, I still really like this one, but it's just not working for this layout. And this one here was colored in with vintage blue and of course antique pink. And right in the center, just a little bit of pale pink shade. So I have a generous pile here that I'm going to go off and color off camera. And then we'll come back and do the fun part, which is embellishing this page. I thought I'd take a few moments here and show you how easy it is to color these images here. What I like about using stamps is that you can color those flowers any way you want. Now, these are purple pansies and they're probably not supposed to be pink, but you know what? With my layout, I think that using the antique pink made it look really good. So I'm going ahead here and I'm adding the antique pink all over each of those petals. I'm working one flower at a time, and then I go in with the darkest shade of that same marker, and I'm just following the lines. Now, to give it a little bit of a pop to match my photos, I'm coming back in with that pale pink shade. Of course, here I could have done these in green, but you know me and liking monochromatic, so I did stay true to the colors on the layout, and I chose this color right here, which is vintage blue. And I think that, again, it's really great because you can actually color these any way you want. So I started with the light, and then I'm following the vein lines here with the dark, and that is it. No more effort is needed to make these flowers look really great. Now, those small tiny little flowers here, I'm barely touching them, but I'm just going in with the darkest shade, and it's got a lot of contrast with basically 2 markers. Okay, well, 3 markers, but you get where I'm going with this. They are super easy to color. Now, the last touch here, I'm coming in with my Jelly Roll pen, and I'm adding little dots right in the center just to add that extra dimension, and I think that they look really good. You might have noticed that I gave myself a generous spacing with all of my stamping, so when I die cut them, I can die cut a whole bunch at once. Let's take a look at the layout now that I've got all of my flowers and they've all been die cut. Nothing is adhered down. I did take a photo because I can tell you that I'm definitely not going to remember how I placed all of these. I did fuss quite a bit for putting them down, but I love the cascading effect. I wasn't sure. I had this idea in my head and I think it turned out really, really nicely. I did add a little bit more of the pale pink shades in some of the smaller flowers tucked in here and there, and I think that it gives it a little bit more pop against the rosy glitter paper and the photos. I'm going to speed up the process and show you how I start when I layer up all of the flowers. I'll use some dimensional foam for some of these flowers, and then we'll come back and we will go through the 3 main steps in creating a layout such as this one. Because I've taken a photo here, I don't mind pulling all of my ephemera off my page so that I can start building it. But I am kind of keeping them in groups so that I know where to put them back. So I'm going to start adhering all of those pieces down, and I didn't originally because I wanted to make sure that I was giving myself enough space for the doily, and I knew I wanted to do that cascading effect with all of the flowers. But now that I know where everything is going, we're just gonna adhere all of these pieces down. So I've got my strip that is like 1 inch in, and then this one here is at 4 1/4, I think. And I'm just going to put that right down. Of course, I have a photo that I'm looking at on the side. I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and straight. And I'm going to add my doily. So I'm going to sneak that right underneath. And we're just going to go ahead and add like the main pieces if you want for this layout. The little doily was put down with liquid glue, and you can see here that I ran out of glitter paper. But because I'm going to layer up with flowers, it's really not going to show. So if you don't have full pieces, if you kind of use them wisely, you can still do a nice frame, as you can see that I have here, and I'm going to hide it with a flower. Just like that. So here I'm adding my bigger flowers, my bigger clusters. So I'm spreading them out around to create that first kind of swoop of flowers. And you can see here by rotating that same image, it kind of looks different. So the next clusters, if you want, as I'm building it, I'm going to add these darker little pansies. And then I'm going to fill in the gaps. So those are bigger ones, and I've added the leaves right on top to make it easier on myself. And then I'm just going to add those darker ones in between and the large ones. So that's how I built that cluster. And believe me, it took a little bit to get it to look this way, but I'm really happy on how it turned out. So once I have all of these pieces down, it's just a matter of adhering them, and some of them will have 3D foam tape just to give them a little bit of dimension, and it makes it easier to tuck everything together. I've gone ahead here and I've adhered down all of the flowers, and I really, really like it. I'm going to show you where I drew my inspiration for this layout. Just wanted to take a last look at this sticker sheet. And I really like the looking good, but again, it's getting lost, and I really don't know where to put it. I'm not sure if up here in the corner is okay. I think maybe I'll go with this one here, snapshot. Here I find that it's fighting, so I think I'm going to add it right up here. I think that that's a good spot for it. I am just going to line that up, and I think that that's a nice little touch, a little bit of word art. So let's look at the completed layout, and let's look at where I drew my inspiration to create this one. The inspiration for this layout came from this card right here, the circle and all of these gorgeous flowers. So the circle got translated into a doily, and then I just extended it. I was able to create this gorgeous layout here of little Jasmine when she was only 2. So yes, I'm still scrapbooking older photos, but I love the way it turned out. And look at these clusters of flowers. I was able to color them in to match my very bold photos and the paper back here. Well, that's it for me today. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. If you'd like to see what I've done with the rest of this collection, I think you're gonna like this video right here. See you there.